Three, two, one. Hi, my name is Isa. I'm a psychology student at the University of Westminster. Thank you for taking part today. This interview is part of my dissertation exploring general attitudes towards counseling and how people think society views seeking mental health support. You'll be asked some open ended questions based on a short fictional scenario, and I'm interested in your general opinions, not personal experiences. You can skip any question or stop at any time. This interview will be audio recorded and all responses will be confidential and anonymized. Are you okay with this?
Yes.
Great. We can start. So first, I'm going to read you a short hypothetical scenario and then I'll ask you some questions about it. Is that understood?
Understood.
Alex, age 22, has been feeling stressed and low for several weeks. A friend suggests Alex try counseling, but Alex worries that others might judge them for seeking help. Is that understood?
Understood.
To start with, what do you think about Alex's situation?
I feel like Alex should, if he thinks counseling will work for him, he should go to counseling himself. He shouldn't be pressured by his peers or feel the pressure not to do it uh, with the fear of being looked down on by his peers. He should do what's best for him and best for his mental health to make sure that he gets the support that he needs to avoid the stress and depression to interfere with his daily life and get worse.
Okay. So, what stands out most about the situation from Alex?
For me, what stands out is that his friends are telling him not to, and he's scared that his friends will look down on him before proceeding with counseling and getting help that he needs, which is, in my opinion, it's not a good thing, and they won't be the best friends for him because they don't have his best interests in mind. For him, the best thing would be getting counseling or getting some sort of help
Sorry, there may have
to
been a little
improve
bit
his situation.
miscommunication. But the statement was Alex's friend suggested counseling, but he feels worried that people might judge them. Not that his friend is not
Okay,
suggesting.
okay.
Yeah.
So
So does that
Alex
change?
shouldn't worry about what people will think of him because the main thing is that he gets the help that he needs to stop it from getting worse and leading down a worse route of depression and stress. Um, his friends are good and supportive by suggesting it. They should maybe help him, encourage him more to um, proceed with counseling, and they he doesn't have to tell anyone. It can be confidential. He doesn't have to tell anyone that he's going counseling. I know people that have went counseling. They've just disguised it, say that they're going out for to see some friends or just going to work or something like that. So he could just say something like that and go to counseling and get the help that he needs.
Okay. So how do you think Alex might be feeling about the idea of counseling?
Um, I think he might feel a bit more stressed and nervous about the idea of counseling because with counseling, you're talking to someone that you've never met before or barely know, and you're telling them your deepest, darkest secrets and opening up to them, telling them all your problems and stress, which many people wouldn't do, especially males in this day and age. They wouldn't even tell their closest friends. So it is a big, scary thing for him at the moment, but hopefully he will be able to overcome the challenge and speak to someone about it to avoid it for the problems from developing and getting worse. So even though that he feels nervous, he should get it done.
Okay, so how do you think others might react if Alex went to counseling?
I think others will be supportive of him, especially his friends. They should be supportive of him and his family because he's getting the help that he needs. And if he doesn't get that help, then who knows where it could lead. Not getting help would not benefit him positively in any way, even though he is a bit apprehensive about getting it and is a bit worried what other people might think. I think that people in general would think that it was a good thing that he is getting counseling
So
or
why
getting
do you
help that
think
he needs.
people might react in that way?
Because it's stopping something bad from happening. It's stopping him from developing more stress and more depression. Um, it is helping him in ways that other people can't. You need to be trained and fully trained and qualified to be doing that. Even though, and It might help him in the long run, in the short term as well by getting it done, because even just speaking about the situation makes him understand it more as well. So some people, until they fully speak about a situation from beginning to end, they may not fully understand how difficult it can be.
Okay, so do you think these reactions would differ depending on someone's age, gender, or background?
Yes, I think many older people, I'll say 60 plus, they I'll say 60 plus, they're very stuck in their ways. Back in their day, they didn't speak about mental health or anything back then. Especially males speaking about mental health was a very unheard of thing. So um, for them, it will be very out of the ordinary for Alex to be going and speaking about these things and saying that he's suffering from depression.
Okay, so what might stop someone like Alex from seeking professional help?
Um, Also, maybe elderly members of his family, he might be scared himself to be seeking professional help because he's scared to talk about it with someone he's never met before. Also, he might be scared what his friends think, or he might be scared what his family will think of it. It might be seen as a sign of weakness from him um, by other people. So maybe he doesn't want to do it in that sense. He wants to be very independent and get it done himself.
Okay, which one of those do you think is the biggest barrier?
I think the biggest barrier is him scared of thinking what other people will think.
Okay,
Like he's very scared of what people will think of him in if they find out he goes to counselling, which is not a bad thing. But not everybody goes to counselling. People do it in different ways. Some people don't speak about the issues at all, and some people don't let the issues get as severe as Alex did.
okay, so in the grand scheme of things, are these barriers more of an internal personal or an external societal, in your opinion?
They're a very internal, personal barrier because at the end of the day, he's scared what other people will think. Other people are supporting him from the outside. His friends are very supportive. They're the ones that even suggested it in the first place that he will go to counseling, that he should go to counseling for his stress and depression. But he's scared himself of what other people will think, even though no one's actually said anything to him.
Okay, so what could help people feel more comfortable about attending counseling?
Um, I think reassuring them that it is confidential would be make people feel more comfortable and reassuring them that it is a good thing that people are that you're doing counseling and helping people understand how it can benefit them and how it can stop them from going down a deeper route in the future and how it can stop the depression and stress basically.
Okay, then what changes in society might make counseling feel more normal?
I think people in general talking about mental health more and different struggles that they deal with that would make people that would make sure that people feel more comfortable with counseling and even understanding what counseling is will help people understand more what understand feel more comfortable with it because a lot of people these days don't understand actually what counseling is. So once they understand that it is basically just sitting down and talking with someone, helping yourself understand it at the same time and getting advice from someone, that would help them a lot more.
Okay, so who or what do you think has the biggest influence on making counseling more acceptable?
Society. So I think society itself would help make it more acceptable because society as a whole has made it a taboo subject for males in general. In recent years, it has been more acceptable for males to speak about it, and it has been looked into more and more accepted by schools and families that people do suffer with mental health issues. So they do play a big role in it. I say the main role is society. So once they accept it more, fully accept it, and help make people feel comfortable, um, then it will be beneficial for them.
Okay, so as a whole, how do you think society views people who go to counseling?
I think people who go to counselling, society views them as a bit different because not everybody goes to counselling. They see them as someone who has an internal problem, a mental health problem. Some people may even see it as attention seeking, um, as they may not understand the situation that other person is in. And some people may feel completely sorry for them and make think that it is more severe than it actually is.
Okay, so do you think these views are changing within time?
Yes, I say social media itself plays a big role as well, because social media has made it more acceptable for males to talk about mental health. It gives a lot of people a platform to speak about it, and um, even though there is a lot of bad things to come out of social media, there is a lot of good things as well. People are being more accepted for speaking about their feelings, and even big celebrities have been speaking about their feelings and struggles that they've been going through with mental health as well.
Okay, linking towards that, what other kind of stereotypes, if any, come to mind about seeking counseling?
Um, I think that some stereotypes that come to mind when seeking counseling is that the person may be attention seeking, that the person may be overreacting, that the person could just deal with it if they're more organized, or if they sorted themselves out a bit more, that then if they sorted their life out a bit more, then they wouldn't have to be in this situation. So those are some stereotypes that go with it. Also, some people may think that people that go to counseling are just doing it to distract themselves from the real problem, which is just dealing with the situation head on.
Okay, so what kinds of things do you think make people more open to counseling compared to the past?
I would say understanding what counseling is. A lot of the time, people don't understand what it is. So now it has become more accepted, and people do understand it more these days. So it is better for them to understand what counseling is now, and how it can benefit them in the long run and even in the short term as well. So that will make people feel more comfortable with what counseling is, and them knowing that it is confidential, that whatever's said in the room or with the person won't leave the room or leave the person that you're speaking to with.
Okay, so what role do you think education or awareness plays in this?
I think education and awareness plays a big role in this, because people that are uneducated in counseling may think that it is the same as therapy, which it is not. And education um, can help people understand how exactly counseling can benefit them, and the different types of therapy that can benefit them, and different um, interventions that can benefit them. If counseling may not be the right thing for them, then they can educate themselves. There's so many resources available online for them to learn about what different types of therapy there is for them, and they can uh, choose whichever one they think fits best for themselves.
So would you say there are any specific changes within society you think have changed the influence and the shift?
Um, yeah, I'll say since a lot of celebrities have been speaking about mental health, it shows that even though you're rich and you're famous, you can still suffer from mental health issues. So normal people like us are allowed to feel are allowed to suffer from the same issues and seek the same help. Just because uh, somebody has got money and got fame and a lot of things that a lot of people desire, doesn't mean they can't suffer from the same issues. So them speaking about it and promoting awareness for it makes people understand that it's okay to have mental health issues, and it may even help people realize themselves that they have mental health issues. Some people live with it and just feel like they're different, and they just accept that, not knowing that they do have depression or chronic stress or anxiety. So without that awareness, they wouldn't. Some people wouldn't be able to diagnose themselves or know that they should be seeking help from a GP or from counseling or through therapy.
Okay, so how do you think the media, celebrities, or social media influences affects the way people think about counseling?
I think that they're creating a positive environment around it. A lot of celebrities do endorse counseling and show that it is okay to speak about your feelings. So, and that it is good to seek help, because um, they know that if you bottle it up and keep it in, then it's only going to get worse. That's not dealing with anything at all. So when celebrities tell people that they've been to counseling and speak from their own personal experiences, that helps people relate to them, especially people who already see them as role models. That helps people relate to them and look up to them and know that they should be doing the same thing if they suffer from similar issues.
Okay, so do you think this influence is mostly positive or negative?
Mainly positive, mainly positive influence, because at the end of the day, it's about helping people that need it and stopping them from developing more stress and more anxiety around the topic.
Okay. Okay, so can you think of any examples where media has changed perception?
For example, the famous actor and comedian Robin Williams, um, he committed suicide quite a few years ago now. I think before that, everybody thought that because they're rich and famous, they didn't have no issues. And then when he committed suicide, people still criticized him and said he's got all this money and got all this fame and all this happiness that could fix any problems, that he could, that there would be no reason for him to kill himself. But at the end of the day, he did. So, and that was because he was suffering from mental health issues silently. He didn't want to speak about it at all. So that really brought to light that no matter how big and famous you are, how much money you have, and we're all people at the end of the day, we all suffer from different issues. So if you don't speak about it or seek the right help, you could end up in the same situation or worse.
Okay, so what comes to mind, if anything, about the typical characteristics of people who go to counseling? Is there any specific genre that would go to counseling?
Um, Not really. I'll say people that don't have as severe of a depression would be going to counseling or stress, because if it is very severe, like if it's chronic depression or chronic stress, then they should seek help directly from the GP, to refer them to a therapist. But counseling is good for people to talk about their feelings and help themselves understand what is going on too. So I'll say people that don't have as severe of mental health issues, counseling would be the best thing for them.
Okay, so where do you think these ideas come from? Is it more of a social media stigma or is it a personal understanding?
I think it's a personal understanding that counseling will be the best for people that have short term or are dealing with a lot of stress and anxiety at the moment, because that can help them without the use of different tablets that therapists may prescribe, that the GP may prescribe, or different types of therapy. So I think counseling will be the best thing for them. It's just talking one to one, and that is the best thing that people should do first in general. So if that doesn't help, then maybe they can go on to speaking to the GP and get more serious help, if that doesn't work. But that's the best thing to do first, as many places provide it for free too. Universities, workplaces, they provide free counseling, so it's very cost efficient as well, and it helps people understand what is going on with themselves.
Okay, so would you say these perceptions, whether it be negative or positive, um, are accurate or misleading?
I'll say that they're usually accurate. Sometimes they can be misleading. Some people believe that um, counseling is a bad thing, that people are just attention seeking. So I say that can be misleading. Some people believe that counselors don't really care about um, what the person is saying. So that can also be misleading, as it's the counselor's job. A lot of people volunteer to be a counselor as well. So even though they're not getting paid, they're still doing it to help people out. So they don't have to. They're not getting paid for it.
Okay, so
So they
in what
generally do care about the person.
okay, so in what situations do you think people are most likely to seek counseling?
Also, people that are suffering from a lot of stress or a lot of anxiety from work or from school, or just their everyday life, if they're suffering from different problems, even if they're suffering from a bit of depression as well, they should seek counseling. That would be the best thing for them, as they can speak about the situation, understand it more themselves, and once they understand it, they know different routes that they can go down to help themselves support it and
Okay,
fix their
so
issue.
what might push someone from avoiding seeking help?
People that don't like talking about their feelings, people that think that it will just go away eventually. Some people are too scared to talk about um, how it is affecting them. Some people see it as a weakness as well. Some people see mental health as a weakness, as they think that people could take advantage of them due to their mental health issues. Um, they see it as they're scared of what other people might think of them if they walk around saying they're depressed. They're scared of what other people might think of them and how the world might view them.
Okay, so do you think timing or the stages in life plays a role in this?
Yes, so I say as people are growing up, especially teenagers as well, as they're finding themselves, finding their responsibilities in life, and finding what they want to do, finding who they are as a person, they might feel a lot of anxiety, a lot of stress at that time of life because it is a busy time for them trying to apply for colleges, universities, even university deadlines when people uh, are met with deadlines for the first time in their life. They don't know how to deal with it. It's a lot of stress for them trying to deal with 4 or 5 deadlines at the same time, all due within a week. So it is tough for people, for teenagers and young people in general, to understand themselves at that time. So I'll say that's probably one of the biggest age group demographics that suffer from mental health issues.
Okay, so what do you think could be done by schools, at work, or within society to make counseling seem more normal or acceptable?
Um, I would say if they introduce something like maybe like a mandatory counseling session once a month for each student, or once every half term for each student, just so everybody has to do it, so everybody's equal, so nobody feels left out that they have to seek counseling. Um, they may have to hire more staff for that. It may not be as cost efficient if they hire more staff, but teachers could volunteer as counselors. They get the right training done, they can volunteer as counselors to help support students with that. Same with workplaces as well. Every quarter, I will say every staff member should fill out a survey or go speak to a counselor just to refresh themselves, just to know that it's normal and that it's not a bad thing to speak to a counselor.
Okay, so within which setting, schools, workplace, or media, do you think is the most important at pushing people to go to counseling?
I'll say social media because everybody from the ages of 5 to 8 years are on social media. So there's no age of what you can make a social media account in the UK. So everybody watches that. A lot of people look up to a lot of influencers and on social media. So I'll say a lot of the influencers, once they start speaking about counseling, make it normalized, and a lot of the big companies can speak about it too. Um, then people would accept it more and realize that it is normal to speak about your feelings and that counseling is all right.
Okay, so what practical changes would make the biggest difference as a whole?
I'll say people including mental health in their everyday life. Like um, people may take tablets every day to help with their health, with vitamin tablets to help with their health. Also, taking 10 minutes to meditate or taking 10 minutes to improve their mental well-being would be a great help to themselves. Just to treat it as another part of their physical health, even though it is their mental health. Um, so they should treat themselves like
Okay, that brings us to the end of the questions. Thank you very much for your time and sharing your thoughts. I really appreciate it.
that.
Just
You're
to
very
remind you,
welcome. You're very welcome.
thank you. Just to remind you, this study is exploring general attitudes towards counseling and how people think society views seeking mental health support. Your responses will be anonymized and used as a part of my dissertation research, and no identifying information will be included in any reports or publications. If you decide at any point that you would like to withdraw your data, you're able to do so up until the data has been anonymized or the project has been submitted. You can contact me using the details provided in the participants information sheet. I also want to check in. How are you feeling after taking part in the interview?
I'm feeling good. Thank you very much. It didn't really affect me negatively. I think it's good to speak about these things and bring awareness to these topics.
That is a really good point. Very, very nice.
Thank you,
Although the
thank you.
study is designed to avoid personal or sensitive topics, if anything we discussed has caused any discomfort, support is available. For
Thank
example,
you.
organizations like Mind and the University of Westminster Wellbeing Services can provide support if needed. Before we finish, do you have any questions about the study or anything we've discussed here today?
No.
Excellent. Thank you for your participation. Your input is very valuable and will contribute to a better understanding to attitudes towards counseling.
Thank you. Thank you very much.